We'll talk to Rami Khouri about this on Skype from Beirut. He is a senior public policy fellow and adjunct professor of journalism at the American University of Beirut. Rami, if Germany's been under pressure from the US and Israel to do this, is that to say that that's why it's doing it, or has this been something Germany's been working towards anyway?
Well, Germany and all of Europe have kept an eye on Hezbollah and its allies and its members and its friends. And this is something routine. They had been banned. The military wing of Hezbollah had always been banned, but now they're looking at the social and cultural and political activities. The interesting thing is that the news came with really no details. So if you look at the news reports, they say suspected or possible members or supporters. And that's a hint that actually the evidence may be thin, but we don't know. So I think the important thing is to ask the Germans to put the evidence out there in public. If you have people in charitable groups and mosques and schools who are actually helping a group that is designated as a terrorist group, then that's important for people to know. But if this is a political pressure game that the Americans and the Israelis are doing, which is typical, then that's a whole different ballgame. Then this is something that Hezbollah has dealt with for the last 15 years or so, and it doesn't really impact them at all. So the question is, what happened recently to bring this about? And this is something the German government is going to have to explain.
As is almost always the case in the Middle East, there's a wider picture, I'm sure. What's the picture here? Is it Syria and Iran and Hezbollah and all of the interactions between all of these groups and countries?
The wider picture going back a few years is that 10, 15 years is that Hezbollah has emerged as the most significant military group in the Middle East that has been able to confront Israel, withstand its repeated attacks, and fight it essentially to a draw. There's a kind of unspoken ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah in the south of Lebanon, and a deterrence, not just a ceasefire, that the Israelis and Hezbollah both are willing to fight and able to fight, but neither of them want to get into a new fight because they know it'll cause massive destruction, mostly to civilians. So this is, I think, designed to continue to try to weaken Iran, because Hezbollah is the most significant foreign policy achievement of the Iranian Islamic government. The Islamic regime and the Islamic revolutionary government. And people have been trying to do this for the last 15, 20 years all over the world, in North America and Europe, everywhere. And part of this is maybe also partly driven by new Saudi desires and Emirati desires to clamp down on Iran. And Hezbollah has emerged as a favorite target for people, as a proxy to, if you can't attack Iran, then attack Iran's allies and friends. So these are all possible explanations. The truth is, Hezbollah has been doing activities in the region, in Lebanon, around the world, at the social, cultural, political, and sometimes military level for years and years, and only they know really what is the truth.
Rami Khouri, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.